Hi there, this is Osea in Arkansas, and recently I had the good fortune of being a winner of a neocaridina shrimp breeder box combo from Aquatic Arts in partnership with Secret History Living in Your Aquarium, Alexander Williamson. Got this box here, and I have a 2.5 gallon aquarium, and so I'm going to show you what I got included in the breeder box. I've always had a great experience with Aquatic Arts. I've been a customer in the past and always been very pleased. This was no different, great customer service from those folks, and just want to say thanks again to Aquatic Arts and to Alex at Fishery or Secret History Living in Your Aquarium. So the Aquatic Arts combo box is the green Jade shrimp, neocaridina davidi, and these are the bred by Aquatic Arts. They included a botanical breeder combo pack, along with the Aquatic Arts starter shrimp food pack, and then a loose moss portion, 1/4 of a cup moss sample. And this was the Secret History giveaway. Let's see what's in the box. Aquatic Arts always includes some great instructions. Very helpful. So this is the botanical breeder combo pack for shrimp. It's got some catappa leaves, looks like some alder cones, and a few other assorted botanicals. I did take the opportunity to soak some of those botanicals to go ahead and start getting those waterlogged and prepared for use in the tank. Some of them still may float. The cholla wood also was included in that combo pack. So we'll see. Some of it may float, but that's okay. So that was the botanicals pack. The Aquatic Arts green Jade, Aquatic Arts bred, again, 10 plus in that pack. These have been with me for a little while. I quarantine almost everything that comes in new, and so I've had these in a quarantine tank with some anubias and just a little sponge filter and some stone, along with that portion of moss, and everybody looks healthy, and so let's keep going. This is the container that the moss portion came in. And this was that starter pack of shrimp food. There is the premium shrimp food sample pellets, kind of like the snowflakes. There's the bee pollen granules, and then just the smaller pellets. So it's a really good combo, and I've been feeding the shrimp as they've been in quarantine a variety of these foods. And that was what came in the box. Again, thanks to Aquatic Arts and Alex. Most of the time my quarantine setups are just small 2 to 3 gallon food containers, food storage containers, so that they're safe for the livestock. I keep sponge filters cycled in one of my small plant holding tanks. 2.5 gallon tank here. Here we go. And I've just cleaned it and prepped it to start filling. I have read up on the green jade shrimp, and it was recommended that you put them on a darker substrate for a nice deep green color tone. Looking for a substrate that was a little darker, and I settled on something that's new to me, and I'm gonna go grab that right now. Midnight Pearl. This is by Aquaturals, or Natural, and this is a natural New Zealand river gravel, triple washed, kiln dried. I did rinse it again. This is a small, fine gravel, darker tone. It does have some lighter tone pieces. And this is Aquanatural and Oliver Knott. Our aquarium care professionals. Australian-made products are available. So I think we all recognize the name Oliver Knott. And so I read some good reviews about this product, and so I'm trying it for the first time here. I read advice from a lot of great folks in the hobby, fish keepers, shrimp keepers, aquascapers. And so on the advice of some of those folks that I admire, in the bottom of this tank, I'm going to start with a little bit of crushed coral. My tap water here is very acidic and low pH, but it does have some mineral content, and not too bad on the chlorine levels. So I just use my favorite dechlorinate, and I let my water sit for a little while before I use it for water changes or new setups. And I am going to put a little sack of crushed coral or aragonite. I do have it, since I'm using darker substrate, you know, as the visual layer in this tank. I put my crushed coral in mesh bags that have plastic zippers that won't corrode, and it's the same technique I sometimes use for planted tanks, and to contain that substrate. Again, these are just mesh bags you can use. I use these for building up height in aquascapes. It's the substrate within will get colonized with beneficial bacteria, and just pretty good all the way around. So I'm going to put one of those little bags here, and to see if I made up two just in case. I thought I might want it all the way across. But I'm thinking with this small of a tank that the one bag of crushed coral will be enough to kind of buffer that pH and just kind of add to the whole system, because this is going to be a filterless tank. Alex Williamson over at Secret History Living in Your Aquarium set up an example tank with some yellow neos, and showing us that we can do this with no filter, and that's what I'm going to try here. So I have the crushed coral in the little bag. I'm not going to plant this with stem plants or any, kind of root feeders, heavy root feeders right away. I may add some clippings later on as I trim some of my other aquascapes. But I am going to go ahead. I've got a couple of Tropica nutrition capsules here, and I'm just going to grab one of those and sprinkle it around. I'm going to start out with just some water column feeders, some Anubias, and some moss, so I don't need a lot of nutrient content as far as plants go right now. But again, I just happen to have some Tropical nutrition capsules. They come in a blister pack. And you can leave these whole, but they sometimes float. Or you can kind of open those up and spread a little bit of the nutrition through it. Make sure that's spread around just a little bit, just in case later on I do plant some root feeders. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and put the substrate. Again, this is a new substrate to me. It has been rinsed. I'm not sure if I'll need all this. Let's see. And I simply put this in my large Aquarium co fishnet and rinsed with water. Give me, I don't think I need all of the substrate that I rinsed. I've got a little bit left there. I'll just put it to the side and use it somewhere else. That was enough to give me a nice layer of gravel. I didn't lay out any of my aquascaping tools, so I'll just use my hands to push this little micro gravel down off the glass. This is just a little Aquarium 2.5 gallon. This is doesn't have a top rim, so rimless, I guess, on the top. It does have a bottom rim, kind of like your standard big box store 2.5 gallon. But it's a good looking little tank. Oh, let me pull it back this way so you can see. Okay, so we have about 2 inches of gravel covering that crushed coral and nutrition layer. And really, as far as the rest of what's going in, it's just botanicals that were sent along from Aquatic Arts in the breeder pack. And then the shrimp, green jade, and again, some of these botanicals may float, and I've actually soaked a little bit extra, so after I do some water changes later this week, I'm gonna probably disperse a lot of these botanicals throughout all my aquascapes. It's the cholla wood. I'm not sure how it's going to look yet. I'm just going to lay it in here for now. And let's see here. Some leaves that were tied together with a knot. Just going to lay that in there. Let's see here. I'm going to grab some more of these botanicals and just kind of lay them in here. Some of these little cones. Let's see if you can see those. Tiny little cone. Won't need very many because this is a very small tank. And as long as I add other items that do already have like a biofilm. And so I'm gonna take also the moss that's been in the water, so it will have a lot of good probably bacteria and biofilm, and then also I have a stone in here, one of my favorite stones lately. It's called whole stone. I'm not sure exactly what it is actually, but it's looks like a little cave, but it's a natural stone. I think it's been drilled out to have like a cave-like look to it, and so I'm gonna put that in here as well. Want to be careful as to not hurt mini shrimp. You may see this is a whole stone. And I think what I might do is wedge the cholla wood into the one side of the whole stone if I need to. We'll see. I'm just going to put it in here for now and we'll go from there. There's the moss. That's a large portion of moss. I'm not sure that I'll need all of that in this little tank. Set a portion of this aside for now. Okay, now let's see. So that's the botanicals, some stone, Anubias. Let me go ahead and just put this other leaf back in and just kind of wedge it. See what happens with that. Okay, now it's time to add the shrimp. So I am going to go ahead and add most of the water that they're in here into this tank. It's a little bit moamy, but it'll settle, and I just don't want to shock them with a big water change right now, as they're already moving into a new tank. So here it goes. I'm going to add the shrimp. These are green jade shrimp. These are Aquatic Arts bred, and it's my first time keeping these. I have other neos. I have yellows, oranges, blues, different shades of red, from cherries to Bloody Marys, chocolates. I put all different shades of reds together, even the black roses. Yeah, I think that's it, but this is my first green shrimp. So here we go. I'm gonna add those to the tank, and I'm gonna fill it up just part way, and then get it into place over here on my shelf, and then fill it up the rest of the way, and I'll show you what it looks like once I get it over on the shelf. Is about half full with the water that the shrimp have been living in. Oh, I did do a water change for them earlier today, and so I don't want to do too big of a water change, so I'm just gonna transfer them over in the same water, and then we'll kind of let the tank mature, and that mulm will be good for the new setup. So I'm going to move this over to the tank room, along with my terrariums and a couple of houseplants over here. So I've just made room for this new setup, and we'll take a look at that once I've got it over in the shelf. All right, let's see here. Get a little bit better view here. Is the new 2.5 gallon setup for the Aquatic Arts bred green jade neocaridina shrimp. I have put a rock pile in to kind of wedge down one end of the cholla wood. The other end is kind of wedged into my my whole stone there on the end, and you can see the moss is kind of also just pushed into a little crevice there. to hold it down until it gets attached on its own. There's some botanicals that have that did sink to the bottom. The shrimp are zooming around. Hopefully you can see them there. Got a couple of other plants I may add in. So that is my new green jade setup. It's a filterless 2.5 gallon tank. This is Osea in Arkansas, and I appreciate you taking a look at this video today, and I will see you next time.